And it's Thursday time. Cow time. Every time. I am Mr. Brad Chester, and I will let these fine gentlemen introduce themselves.
And I am Mr. Brian Horton.
And I'm Mr. Brandon Valley.
And we are Wild Stallions. Oh, sorry. Sorry, wrong stream, guys. Wrong stream. I get it all confused.
I thought your name was Helicopter.
That's a previous life, my friend. I'm selling my DVDs on the side.
Helicopter only in the shower window at the Rio.
Don't bring that Rio up to me.
No, because your wife might hear it in the background.
It is the triple B of 40K. I just realized that. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, anything about this? Dude, I want to talk about some stuff today. I am not a modeling guy, but I appreciate cool looking stuff. And man, let's talk about some world eaters, dudes. I mean, my first army, way back in the day, for when Jesus and I were playing our first game of 40K, I sat down and I was playing some world eaters, and I said, but man, those guys look badass, and they've got some cool rules to go with them, dude. They are so awesome. I just want to put them on the board to put them on the board. 8-pound, sweet. Angron, sick. How cool were the dinos?
Those Exalted 8-pounds are possibly one of the neatest looking models ever, and there's so much conversion space to do stuff with them. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, we're going to have to punch Mike in the head here. 50-degree weather while he unpacks.
Hey, all I'm saying is it's 70 right now.
Screw both of you.
So Brad, it's 48 in central New York and torrentially downpouring.
How?
I have no idea. It is the weirdest weather I've seen ever.
We're doing typical Ohio stuff here because yesterday it was 2 and today it's raining. It's 40. So, typical Midwest weather off the lake where you go, hey, what's the weather going to be? What time is it? Maybe.
I'm still getting used to the fact that I've seen the grand total of a half inch of snow this entire winter.
Screw you. Why do I still live up north?
I don't know. You should come move down here.
I hate cold weather with a passion of 1,000 suns. Okay, back to World Eaters. Not about that silliness. I can't be stopped. I need an adult at all times.
I personally really like the Cultists. I think the Cultists look really awesome. And I'm ready to see everyone have Angron in the army.
He looks amazing. And the thing is those 8-pounds look bad. I think that there's not that many armies that I think the rule of cool applies just to play them. But I think that the World Eaters, I might have to put them in a couple tournaments specifically for rule of cool reasons. Plus, holy crap, your games are over in a minute. Hey, I made a bunch of charges. Are you dead? No? All right. You dead? Yes? Cool. Either way, let's just go to the bar because, man, this game's going to be snap. There's not a whole lot of, hey, let's wait this out and see what happens. You're like, YOLO swaggins. How about some pre-game moves? Let's do this.
Well, it's like I was unboxed because our order came in today, and I'm sitting there unboxing the stuff and pulling it out and like, oh, that's awesome. Oh, wait, that's cool. And then I pull out Angron and I'm like, all right, I don't own all of this army yet, but I'm going to by the end of the day.
It's super cool though. Like I kind of want to see if anybody's interested and you're going to do a World Eater army on. I would love to do a video. We'll put it up on DOG here. We'll get it edited up, make it look spicy for you. But I would like to see a journey of getting that army together because I think it would be super sweet. So
I almost want to just buy the army and mail it to Matt Aaron and go, hey, this is your next army.
And then he'll have it done in 2073 and it will look like the best thing ever and everyone will be dead.
You could probably get Michael Henderson on it because I think he just bought everything himself. And then we have Corey who's looking to buy a Gene Stealer Cold Army. So he's going to be painting all that.
I was just talking to Corey today about that, last night about that, because that army is, holy crap, so much better than it used to be, especially in this meta. It looks fan-diddly-tastic. It's so good.
I legitimately was going, all right, I have 12 seismic cannons. Is that enough? Is that, do I own enough of those?
It is not.
So, Brad, did you know that Eloise is assigned to paint 4,000 points of Eldar before Adepticon?
That seems easy. Take about a weekend, right?
She's 20% done so far.
I mean, I clearly understand painting and everything that goes along with it. So I'm going to put these Zerkers in here. I had some pictures, and then I know you guys are going to be shocked, but I accidentally killed them and don't have them ready anymore. I know you're like, what? But here is one of these 8 pounds. I'm just going to put it here with us. It'll be right next to the cow.
Don't cover up the cow. The cow's important.
I will not cover the cow, my friends, but that is a badass model. And it's got pretty sick stats. Ooh, they look sweet. Ooh.
See, I think because of the 8-pound and Chosen in general, I just think Thunderhammers aren't going anywhere.
I do have you. We talked about this at Glass City, and I do want to see the Cows of Corn, Moo, the Legion of Moo, whatever you want to call it. I am 1,000% down with that for spotted Zerkers rolling up, Angron painted in full cow paint, cowbound indeed, Anna. Almost Age of Sigmar, exactly, Eloise. Why does Age of Sigmar get the better stuff? Someone tell me that. Milk for the cornflakes.
It's the amount of stuff that's come out. Like if you look at the Slaves of Darkness boxes that just came out, those are some of the nicest models for Chaos that I've seen ever. They're absolutely fantastic, and I've put a couple kits together for somebody, and they are just absolutely beautiful. They go together like a dream. They're fantastic models.
I'm super. Again, it was my first army, so like I'm super psyched for him from a remembrance standpoint. But
so you take him to Cherokee?
No,
throw down?
I don't even have them. Even I can't borrow an army that no one has yet. Come on now.
I'm sure you can. Those are Chosen. People have Corn Berserkers.
No, but the whole point is having the cool new ones.
Yeah.
We could get you a cow-made army.
When would I have to have that painted by, Brad?
2 weeks.
Oof.
Look at this. Look at the exalted.
That's rough.
Exalted 8-bomb.
That's a lot of trim to paint.
They just look cool.
Contrast paints.
They are very angry too. They are not friendly folk.
Ooh.
See? I painted all my Votann in a week for Chicago.
I mean, I painted an entire Blood Angels army before ATC, an entire Tau army before what event? I forget.
I could paint it all because Rune Lord Brass is a spray, and I can save a lot of time by just doing the brass and then filling in the red. But oof, that's a lot of trim.
Oh, there we go. Brad can paint my trim anytime. The thing is that for a change, I actually would give a shit what my army looked like because I think that the models are so cool. They deserve a sweet paint job. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't want to just have them drive-by spray painted like I've seen half my armies do. I need an army. When? I mean, tomorrow. What can we do? Let's do this. Flying Rhino. Lord Invictus. Is there ever been a must-take more than Lord Invictus?
Oof.
That dude, is that model?
Not in a Chaos army that I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, that dude's point
and not in a couple editions.
Yeah, that dude's a monster.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the Exalted 8-bomb moving 9 inches, just oof. Hitting on
Spicy.
2s, 4 attacks apiece, plus, of course, the bonus for charging. Yeah, I love the fact that if you got 2 Chain Fists, it's damage +1. You're like, yeah. There's strength 9 AP4 damage 2 at that point, or damage 3. Sorry, at that point. Whoa! Mano, Agrid is a YOLO Swaggins. I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't think Angron's going to be in all of the competitive lists because he is a big thing that can get picked up really quick. You can bring him back later with points and whatnot. But like the games when you go first, especially against things that don't, and right now in the game, we'll see how it eggs out. But the first list that you're seeing, there's a lot of lists that are just don't have enough trash. There's just all bang all the time. And man, you get first turn rickrolled by Angron, you are not going to be happy. That guy can touch like 3 different units with his base, and he's swinging for the cheap seats. And you're going to be like, what happened, guys? I don't know. I woke up in a dumpster. I don't know what happened. Ooh. Ooh.
I think on GW train that army is pretty strong.
Oh,
I mean, Chaos historically has done well. Blood Angels historically done well.
Well, melee
it's a
armies,
mixture of the both.
Melee armies are really, really good with that. And the thing is it has the pregame moves to get where it needs to go. So it's pretty disgusting. I mean, it's just the 8-bomb, both of them. He's all and the right. You just, whew, it's good. Oh, it's just so good. Oh, Lord Avocado. All I keep thinking of is what's the cartoon that had avocado on it? Outer Space. It's Outer Space? Deep Space? Outer Space? I don't know.
Oh, the one on TBS.
Yeah, with Gary.
Yeah, with Gary. The world exploding avocado. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Avocado.
So you're going to see Angron and the Bloodthirster?
I don't know. I think that's too much. If I was going to see anything, I would see you could go nuts with it. You could go Angron the Thirster, or you could do Angron. I think more if you were going to go big guys on that, I'd go Angron and Scarbrand because he's got better rules for it. Oh yeah, go into Rocky Top. I like it. Like it. I'm excited for it though. I mean, they just look really, really cool, and I think it's going to be a super fun army to play because it's going to play very fast. So you'll have quick games. You'll enjoy yourself. So I think it's going to be a badass army. And Khorne's always been cool. It's hard to balance those things, man. It's the same thing with anything that really only works in one phase. They have all melee. You have other armies that are only shooting. You know what I mean? It's when they're good, they're amazing. And when they're bad, it feels like there's nothing you could do. I'm not going to Rocky Top. Why am I not going to Rocky Top?
It's the same weekend as MCM.
Oh, that's a good reason then.
I mean, you can. There'll be like maybe 2 people there, but I think all your friends are going to be going to the Detroit event.
I feel that between Pete and Tom, they will beat me mercilessly with sticks. I just showed up somewhere else.
That's the correct phrase.
I do believe Mr. Crawley is going to be going to Rocky Top.
He can't go there by himself. I'm not letting him win. No, thank you.
That's why he wants to go. Yeah. Pick up that easy win.
Britt did make her like, what is it, 10 times a day offer to go smoke weed with her upstairs.
So what's your next GT, Brandon?
My next GT is the Cherokee GT or Cherokee Open GT in 2 weeks. So nice. I'm still trying to figure out what army I'm going to take. I think I'm going to take Dark Angels.
I'm also thinking I'm going to take Dark Angels or Salamanders or Iron Hands or Space Wolves.
So what you're saying is you're going to play Marine X variety.
I might play all of them. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a unit from every armory and use all of their special rules.
This sounds like a perfect plan that won't fail.
So my next GT isn't until March because I'm running a bunch of stuff between now and then. And I'm going up to All Is Dust in Canada. So that should be a lot of fun.
I've got so much stuff in a row. When's Adepticon? The end of March?
End of March. I'll be at Adepticon as well.
And then we've got Canhammer. So we basically, because I wasn't able to go to Studs, so I have to continue to be the Prime Minister. So I'm going to have to be Team Prime Minister now. So I have to make sure that country's running straight because, I leave it alone for a little bit. They just go willy-nilly. They're running around doing crazy shit. I got to get everything back in the iron fist of Brad.
Well, Studs this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
There's Keg Bash in Cincinnati the weekend after Cherokee.
Well, I'm doing Chicago this weekend, doing a little Adepticon prep, team tournament. I got to get the Kamikazes, the 3-peat. And 3-peat, 4-peat? I don't even know what the peat is. A lot of peat. So,
Aren't you going to Arkansas this week? Or
next week. Next week is Arkansas. So this weekend's Chicago. Next weekend is Arkansas rolling out with Blake. And then
Cherokee.
going to Cherokee, just decided I was going to get a Cherokee. Still don't have a ticket. Figure that out as I go. Those are silly things that you worry about. Exactly. I'm running on my Aegis Katy Perry style. Yes. But yeah, basically my army will be Deathwatch if I did that. But that's how Deathwatch should work, by the way. Exactly. Yeah, Zoobs wants to know why you're literally not. You never invite him over to Keg Bash.
Keg Bash?
Well, Keg Bash.
I mean, I'll run one.
What is it? The Cincinnati Association of, I don't know, gonorrhea. I don't know what it's called. It's something. It stands for something. It might not be that. I might be wrong, guys. I've been wrong. I'll be wrong again.
All I know is the contract is ready for me to go review at the distillery. So,
dude, I'm so excited for different places though. Like we went down, Kyle Lyle's best friend ran a cool thing, and he ran it in a where were we? We had Dave and Buster's, I think. It was super cool just to look at different places and different venues, you know what I mean? For like even, small to mid GT size. It's just nice to have food and drinks and everything right there, and entertainment, like different things. I just like people that try different stuff and don't just have the same model on that. I think that convenience is a big thing. It's one of the things that I love about MCM is they just have waiters. You know what I mean? That's a big deal. It just helps. It's convenience. It's just, you want to have a relaxed, good time. And if you're not there to have a good time and you're a psycho that only came to win, well, sorry. We're going to have a good time. So
well, it's like I've been looking, want to do one more GT. I want to run, I'm psychotic, so I want to run one more. And I've been looking at like Buffalo, Pittsburgh, like that area between Western New York and Ohio.
Erie, PA?
Erie, PA area, somewhere in that area. I'm just trying to find like the right mix of they have food, they can do table service, and it's not so ridiculously expensive that it's not worth it.
Isn't there a water park up there, an indoor water park?
Probably.
If there is, they probably have a convention meeting space.
I mean, you're not wrong, Brandon. I that is something I hadn't thought about looking into, but that is now on the list.
Is it too soon to make fun of the fact that the NFL just literally power slammed the Bengals? Just gave the game to KC.
What'd they do?
I won't even go. There's not everybody's a foosball fan in here.
Okay.
There's like 2 people.
Yeah. but yeah, they were about to win, and then, well, they didn't.
So Brad, I know you totally have your adult calendar, but the weekend of Cherokee is when Cocaine Bear comes out, and since Cocaine Bear is filmed in that area, we have to go see.
I feel you on that. I fully support. I'm Brad Chester, and I support this message.
I've been if we didn't have a local thing for one of our local players passed away unexpectedly, and a shelter took his dog in and got him placed relatively quickly, so we're doing a fundraiser for them. Otherwise, I might attempt to try to go to Cherokee, but I really want to support that. I'm in
for all of these. Signing up for the cocaine inside of Bear. We're all in. I'm down with that, man. Like where would you? So we had Cruise Hammer. I know I'm wildly off topic as usual because that's what I do. This is why I decided to run a Thursday show like this, or I had no constraints. Unbound Brad talking about anything that pops into his head at a moment's notice. Squirrel. So
boo bound. You're boo bound.
So, Zuber just said that he was scared that we were suggesting that we all take our shirts off at a water park. If I run an event at a water park, we're getting that photo.
Oh, please. I want the game to be played while you're going down a slide. I make the 6-inch charge.
Doing the wave pool.
But what would be the optimal
Let's play with
place
plastic cutout men at that point.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
If they have a swim up bar, it's on. We're just going to play in the hot tub of the swim up bar.
No, seriously though, what would it doesn't have to matter the size of it. What do you want where would you have your optimum tournament to be held
So for small GTs, I like, the ability to have 64 people there is kind of ideal because it's small enough to where you only need 1 to 2 waitresses to kind of take care of it if you want to do like table service, food, and everything else. And that's manageable for travel as a TO. It's manageable for travel to where I can get tables to pretty much anywhere. I only need the trailer. I don't have to do any extra. For small GTs, that's really nice. I do prefer slightly bigger than that, but I really want a venue where I can run 1 to 2 game systems, have an equal amount of people be there for both of them, because the Age of Sigmar guys have tons of fun. If you haven't experienced them having a ton of fun and have only gone to 40K events where there hasn't been Age of Sigmar people at the end ingesting their fun into it, you're missing out. Because as you know, Brad, from Du Bois, when we do our raffle, the AOS guys just have tons of fun. 40K guys do as well, but the AOS guys just interject, and the camaraderie between the two groups gets really entertaining.
I would love that. It made me think about it because I just brought up that tournament down in North Carolina, and a couple others that I've had. You were talking about one at different restaurants, distilleries, the winery, and I wonder what people. What does everybody think that's watching? Like, what would you be willing to pay to have like kind of an all-inclusive tournament? In a scene like where you have a dinner, because it would really, really nice to have a dinner at a fairly nice place where we all go to it afterward, enjoy ourselves. Maybe it's a 30-ish man tournament kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then we have a banquet style dinner with good food and basically with table service. I would love to go to something like that.
I think you can pull off a winery, mainly because they have all the connections with food trucks, or a brewery or distillery. But they have connections with food trucks for lunch hour. You can rent out the entire facility. They generally have an area where you can enjoy bottle service and place to play. And it shouldn't be too expensive to rent out the entire facility. I know Eloise and I were talking about, well, if we held a tournament, where would we want to have it? And apparently in Knoxville, there's this giant golden sphere that was installed during the World's Fair. And we could rent out the top floor and have a buffet come in. I'm like, that would be pretty awesome. Like, it'd be literally the tallest tournament in the country, because it's probably 100 feet off the ground.
See, one of the suggestions that was made to me was doing a Disney-based tournament, because they have all those facilities down there, like where they did all the NBA stuff during lockdown and stuff like that, that kind of sit somewhat vacant. And it would be kind of neat to have a destination thing where you could bring the family, and the family could go to their thing. You could go play Warhammer. That'd be kind of fun to try and pull off, but you need, on that scale of things, it'd have to be somebody like Frontline or GW putting that together, because as a standard TO to put down more than 100 tables of terrain just becomes a logistic nightmare.
And mentioning water park, I mean, Kalahari over in Sandusky, like, they have the facilities. They run conventions on a regular basis.
I can see that. And a couple of the people in the thing, Kyle ran it again. Thanks, Kyle. The one at the Dave and Buster's. She was just talking about the ski resort. Anna's talking about the actual prices on it. And I kind of agree with that. But I would like that, though, because it keeps people together. It keeps the crowd not super small, but enjoying everybody's company and stuff. Because there's so many times when you go to some place and it seems like you don't get to talk to everybody, and it's hard to get that group into the restaurant because, last minute you're like, we should probably have made reservations. And then you walk in and go, party for 83. And the people look at you like you're insane. And then you end up eating drive-through rallies or something. And I'd love to sit down with everybody and have it planned out. You just pay a little bit more for it. But it's about the experience in the first place. And I would really love to have that.
Well, Brad, that's one of the things that I know you've gone to a lot of the tournaments in Canada that the Canhammer guys have put on, where they've had the catered lunch, and in your ticket price, your lunch, and not always dinner, but I think always they have their lunch included. Mm-hmm. That's really nice, because you just go and grab whatever they're serving, and usually it's really good. And it's fun because they give a little bit longer for a lunchtime. You don't have to worry about running and getting in line for stuff and all that. I would be up for trying to coordinate something like that.
I'm down with that. And the thing is that the thing is on this is I think that there's way more people willing to play in things like a 4 round and not worrying about their ITC points. There's plenty of tournaments to go to get your points if that's what you're down with. But like what we're talking about is more of a experience tournament. It's not like again, I'm never trying to just randomly lose games, but I'm still I want to have a good time. That's the whole point of this, would be more of the experience than just going there. And maybe you don't get certain people because it's not going to be, ITC enough points in this, and it's not going to be this, but like, I think that the people that would want to enjoy that would be the people you'd want to enjoy anyways, their company going to it. That's
something. I mean, it's
I wanted to run
it's a great idea because I think a lot of players, and I heard this from a lot of people that went to LVO who were first timers there. They were like, yeah, this was really fun. It was nice to hang out with everybody. And very few of the people who were talking about the good time they were having were talking about the games they were playing. They were talking about the experience in between rounds, hanging with friends in the evening, hanging out in rooms, going and doing the little walk-arounds or whatever. But it was more of the experience of, yeah, we got to play in a big tournament, but man, I got to hang out with all these people and have a good time and just be around and interact. And that sounds like it would be a lot more interacting with everybody while, some games happened in the background.
I'm not bad with that. I mean, we were just brought it up that Shoots does that. They have a benefit. They have the Joel Hammer, and they do a cool thing with that where they have all kinds of random things because they raise money for the cause on that. But it doesn't have to be just a fundraiser, but like things of that nature where it's about the experience. I really want to see that. We could have a fancy. It's going to be Fat Cat Hammer monocles.
I want to do the eyes wide shut Warhammer.
I wonder if we could, like, as just brainstorming kind of thing, like, it would be cool to do something that would be destination based, where it was like, and that's the one thing about Cherokee that's kind of neat is it's a destination type thing, but where it's like in the Adirondacks or in like a cool area that you could visit that would have other things going on and do, like, I guess you could do like a 2-day thing where it's 4 rounds. And I like that. That's the idea that I really liked, where it's like 32 to 48 people, whatever the math works out to be good, and have it be like destination at a resort. It would, I would assume, the resorts are always looking to get top dollar, but you could probably get something decent, that'd be relatively affordable.
The only thing is I'd like to keep people together on that. If you do something where like there's a million places to go, you're going to get everybody everywhere. And I'd like to get like I
think you do it with a catered dinner.
Yeah, that will 100% on that. A couple of people said the riverboat on that. I actually like the riverboat idea kind of a lot.
That was the one thing I thought about. The one thing I can say about Cruise Hammer, and I know there's another one that Pete's helping out with. That was really fun because, granted, for myself, my wife came along with me, but for a lot of people, they brought their kids and family. We went and played Warhammer for a while, and then we went to like on excursion days. Like a lot of us went to X together and hung out and went to the beaches and did all that stuff, and then went to the food, and then the big group of us were in kind of a dinner area together where there was like 12 of us at a table. I had a fantastic time because I got to sit at a table with Reese and Kicker and his wife and Ben from Oregon and Frankie and his fiance and a whole bunch of people that I hadn't met previously in that much of a social interaction, and it was a great time.
All right, so basically we start the event on a Friday, we play on Saturday, Sunday, and we have a meet and greet dinner Friday, or a meet and greet hangout, I guess, on Friday, and then we do catered dinner on Saturday, and then an optional depending on when you leave on Sunday. Done.
We could do like a lunch on Sunday.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of fun.
And I mean, the thing is you could also just make this a 4-rounder if you really want to.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I like the idea of it. This is something to work for.
So in Pigeon Forge, you can rent out entire cabin complexes between 30 to several hundred people for businesses, and they have Everyone would stay in the building. We would play in the building. They have arcade machines. They have full-size kitchens. They have decks. They have fire pits and pools. I think that'd be a very fun place to have a GT out of. You can easily get 32 people in one of those.
Well, that's the thing is that you want to keep it around 32 to 40 because again, it's going to be it's going to be a higher price point period. You know what I mean? Because we're going to have all of that. We're going to make this happen, everyone. You know what? Not only are we going to make this happen, I guarantee by 2024 we make it happen twice.
It tells me we're going to be having a long conversation later, aren't we, Brad?
Yes, we are. This is the tournament that I want to go to. I'm still good with all the bigger events and stuff, man. Like, I'm so weird about what tournaments I go to right now. It's like, how many of my friends are going to be there and how much free nonsense can I get? Can I get a ticket? Can I get there for cheap? Can I sleep in the trunk of their car? What can I do? How cheap can I make this trip? And then who's going to be there?
Brad, think about how much fun you had at ATC this year. Like, now we have this new cow mascot. We have stories for days. And it was at an Airbnb. It was at a cabin. We grilled out every single day. We had fire. It'd be a fantastic thing. We can easily make an invitational like that happen.
Well, it's like a couple of the guys from the Buffalo area up here in New York used to run a thing where they would, rent out like a giant pavilion at a state campground and then all get campsites next to each other and turn it into like a 4-day thing where they gamed on 2 days. They didn't really have a tournament per se. They just kind of hung. And that was absolutely fantastic.
So down for all of these things. I cannot tell you how excited I am to go to these more than I am anything else. And the team events I just want to go there, period. So the team events, you had me at team. So
yeah.
Well, you can even coordinate like a practice weekend before ATC, Kansas City, Team America shit.
Well, I mean, hell, you got to be the DOD Invitational before we had MCM. Like, that was supposed to be a practice weekend for everybody at DOG, and we had so many people, it ended up being GT sized because it was just so many people showed up to practice. We're like, I guess we should just run this as a tournament. Like, there's a million of you here, might as well. So, and the thing is it should be fun in the first place. You know what I mean? But like, I'm old. I'm not willing to pay a couple dollars for convenience at that point in time. So I'm 100% down, everyone. Let's do this. Also true. I'd love everything should be a team event. I'm all good with that. But it also helps people. Be honest, team events help a lot. I mean, there's a million reasons why I like team events. But one of the main reasons I like team events is you can have people of disparate skills. You know what I mean? So don't feed the bear signs. Table service is a must-have.
I like Anna's idea of 8 5-man teams. That's 32 people. That's very reasonable. I mean, you can rent out off-season.
I love your math on this one. This is why Eloise runs the house.
Yeah, I know.
8 times 5 is definitely 32.
32, because Brad is going to be playing on his own team by himself.
I'm playing all 5 tables.
Hey, she's the engineer. I just do the artistic stuff.
So, are we going to talk about the fact that I'm excited that Carnival Row's coming out in a week? Season 2. I'm pretty sure the season 2 took, 47 years to come out? That felt like it.
Yeah, it's been a long time for that to get to a season 2. It feels like forever.
Brandon, if you haven't watched season 1,
no.
Am I going to have to give you the
You're going to have to explain it. I have no idea.
The year 2000 and late. I don't know why that brings me such joy to randomly give a million-year-old gift. It is steampunkish fantasy. So it's cool. Strippers and blackjack.
That's the best plan right there.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Cinnamon, hit me one more time. Oh no, we confused everything. The dealers are now up stripping. Those guys we confused everything. Raul, put back on your clothes.
The Death or Glory strippers and blackjack. The only problem is it's the three of us stripping.
Hogwarts Legacy, have you played it? Has anybody played that? Or is it just Corey? It's getting really good reviews. Hogwarts Legacy.
That has gotten really mixed reviews from what I've seen.
Well, it's up and down.
There's
the people that love it.
There's a lot of people who are upset about it.
Why are they upset?
They're upset because of J.K. Rowling profiting off of it based on her anti-trans comments.
Whatever. Is the game good? Who cares?
I don't know.
Who gives a shit about politics? It's a game. Fuck.
Well, that's why it's going to be review bombed. So.
Whatever. You know what? I'm skipping over that. That just bothers me. So. You're like, hey, is it good? I don't like what this person said about this. Who gives a shit? Is it good? My sandwich doesn't taste it good anymore because I don't like the way this person thinks. Whatever. Get my cheap ready. Get my wusa. Come on. Arc of the Convenient. That is 1000% true. Good evening to you, my friend.
So, by the way, who saw Steve Joel do his Arcs of Omen song?
Oh, I did not. I want to. I keep forgetting to. Somebody told me about it.
Oh my God. I shared like a short clip of it on my Facebook thing, and people were like, there's a full-length version. I'm like, yeah, it's like 3 minutes long. He is a treasure of the 40K community. If you haven't seen that, he did Arms Wide Open parody with Arcs of Omen. It's amazingly fantastic.
Can we pull it up and put it on here?
We could, but I don't want to pull a 3-minute video up, and I have to find it. So I don't know if you know this, but my tech savvy is limited to hopefully not blowing up the stream when we do it. And
not to plug somebody else's stream, but FLG put it at the end of their whatever their cast was last night. That Reese and Kicker and Seth were on. But at the end of that, they played the whole thing, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Steve Joel's good people. So on that, did they last night? Somebody, I thought I saw it in chat. Did they actually talk? Did they touch on terrain for the future?
They did. They didn't give specifics of it, but they sent out that survey, and if you went to LVO and didn't respond, you did a disservice to yourself and the community. But most people that responded were like, it was like 60-40 on the positives of terrain. The upset part seemed to be that people didn't like that some of the sets of terrain weren't in the player pack. And they were like, yeah, we're going to address that going forward. It won't happen again. They're retiring some of the packs and fixing those and editing some of the other ones. So, I mean, they're making a concerted effort going forward to make as many of the people happy as they can.
The thing about it being in the packet, I don't even know if I cared as much, I guess. I mean, I guess if you're gaming hardcore for it, but I don't mind. If I know, like, what all the pieces are in the first place, I guess I don't give a shit as much. As long as I have somewhere to hide, I guess I don't care.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things of, like, as I've said, I'm not a huge player plays terrain fan because I think, and we tried it at one of our locals this weekend, and I agreed with what a lot of locals said. It does add 10 more minutes to the game and takes time off everyone's clock to do it. But when you've got an assortment of tables, and I've seen it where, you know, as we've talked about terrain a ton of times, it's a layer of the game that works with the FLG terrain. And as long as they keep updating it and modify it as the rules change, as additions change, it'll be fine. As a TO and someone who does events and runs events, it is a beast. And, you know, a lot of my guys who help me out with terrain, which, you know, shout out to Steve Zuber, Jeff Hansen, and everyone else over the years that has helped with all the terrain and has put the time and effort in with me. To update the terrain when it goes from 8 to 9 or 7 to 8 is astronomically time consuming and expensive. And when you're looking at, especially like LVO size, 1,000 tables of total terrain for all their events, that is a huge and massive undertaking. And the one thing Reese touched on that I really hit home was, if it takes 3 hours to put one of their tables together, which is about how long it took me to put one of their newer Chaos tables together, which was popping it out, gluing it, and assembling it. If you think about that, if it takes the average person who gets good at doing it even 2 hours to do it, and you put 4 tables together a day, you work 5 days a week for a year, you're still not getting all those tables updated.
And it's a big deal to make sure that you understand it too. You have to have an understanding of the game to even make those. There's a lot of pretty tables that don't work at all. I was actually looking over some pictures of a game one of the people I coach put out to me, and the terrain was super pretty, but it was just unusable for it. You know what I mean? It didn't work for it. It looked great, but it didn't really work on the game because it didn't provide anything.
I've got 10 totes full of terrain that doesn't work in the current edition of 40K.
I can believe that 100%.
And it's nice terrain, and it's tough to do. Like Chris Courtney, who has done Du Bois for years and has some of the most gorgeous terrain you'll ever see. He has like 17 tables of terrain that they just don't work amazingly in this edition of 40K. They worked great in 5th, 6th, 7th, and now they're they need updates, and it's expensive and time consuming to update and keep up on tables, which is why in some ways the GW terrain currently is, I don't want to say bulletproof because that's not the correct term, but it's really nice because with those layouts, you can have the tables different, but still have the same rules across your boards, which is really nice. You know, it took stuff like, I have probably more than any human on the face of the earth, the Cities of Death terrain that they came out with.
Yeah. I love that stuff.
I have a metric ton of that stuff. And it works so good in the GW layouts because it just fits. It goes in, you say first floor is line of sight blocking, boom, done. It's good terrain. You put it in player place terrain and everything else, it becomes problematic and tough, and you gotta kind of do what Frontline did and go, all right, here's this table, it's this layout, it's these pieces. And I'd never built every table to match to make it simple on myself for that. So we tried it out this weekend. It didn't work for us as a group. I had 20 people at the RTT, and people were like, yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't like it was, a terrible system, but it slowed the game down by 10 minutes, took away time. And I'm going to say probably 6 of our players, if this was like their second tournament, for them, it was, a daunting task.
100% on that. I mean, we've talked about this before. The TO's got to unfortunately have to really be on top of the terrain, but I would rather have it set in the packet, to be honest with you, and have the players just move it to where you say it should go.
So to put this out to the crowd, what about like one of the things that I like about there's a guy who's trying to run a GT and not been able to, he's one single guy trying to run a 32 person GT. He provides all the tables, him and his game club kind of work together to get it done. But he has index cards or actually he went to 8.5 by 11 sheet of, this is the way the table's out. This is what it's supposed to look like. This is what each thing has. Here it's keywords, boom, per table, and every table looks different. That's an idea that I
like diversity.
Yeah.
I'd rather have row diversity though. I'd like to have all the rows the same.
Okay.
I don't mind the tables the same, but they still have to move. That's the only thing that I don't like as much with the GW is you play effectively a total of 2 sets. I would rather have them move per mission slightly. You know what I mean? And that would make it just you're looking at a little bit of different set each time. So
I've been working
at that point you're looking at World Team Championship style.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that they have 8 different tables, you know what I mean, that you play on. Mm-hmm. They're set period, you know what I mean? And then they move per the mission. So I really, really like that style of just moving per the mission and having them be per the mission. And I don't mind it. It depends on, a lot of people hate having a lot of the same tables. I had talked from Daniel from Sweden and Husselberg. He hates tables being the same at tournaments. He wants different tables all over the place to give just more diversity, more fun, he thinks it is. And other people hate when it's not exactly the same to make it, purely competitive. And I get both sides of that. And I think a meeting in the middle a little is nice. Just have it the same, because they were making the same animated thing. And Greg was talking about, Jack just put out Terrain, amazing all weekend, winning LVO. And he did. But the thing is, that is a huge skill gap. And if you don't, especially if you don't play it very often, if you play a ton of GW, you play a lot of other set terrain, and then you go to a player place, you could be equal play skill, but not equal terrain setup. And you're at a huge disadvantage. And if there already was a disparity in the skill experience, and you're playing someone and they're a little bit better than you, and they're wildly better than you at player place terrain, the game is just over at the beginning.
And Matt said in the comments that he was having PTSDs of flashbacks to the cargo crate board.
God, those are where you can see everything. You're like, you're right there. You're right there.
Well, you couldn't see everything. Did you play on that board? Because that board was really dense with terrain. The problem is like you had to move around, and because everything was cargo crates and nothing's breachable, Matt had the unfortunateness of playing Harlequins, who went, "Yeah, I don't care."
Yeah, true. You're just like, oh, there you are again.
Yeah.
See, I'm with KR Quinn. Like, I've been to 4 different game stores down here in Tennessee. Every single store has terrain that looks hot dumpster fire. Like, nothing's painted. Like, it's styrofoam blocks. They don't even glue them together. They use toothpicks to put the pieces together, and it's player place. And I'm like, can I just bring my own table to play on? Like, I understand that there's a little bit of a gap about getting tables ready for the edition that we're playing, but I also want to see tables that look good too, and are thematic and have a point. Like, we're expected to bring a fully painted army. Everyone's playing on these beautiful gaming mats, but then you have nothing but unpainted terrain. And just
that's a big deal. I do think you really have to. TOs, you have to update your terrain, but you do have to have well-painted terrain, or at least painted. Doesn't mean well-painted, but we expect all the players to show up with a painted army. Definitely we want painted terrain. So,
and these are GTs that are doing it. Like ATC, like half the stuff wasn't even painted.
It's the biggest expense as a TO is the terrain to get going. Mm-hmm. Is someone who owns a boundless number of tables, which I'm not even putting a number on anymore. It's gotten to that point.
It's at least 4.
yeah, sure. At least 4.
Maybe 6.
I am not wrong.
But like right now I am sitting on, let's see, out of the Kill Team box sets that had the Nachmund box set that had all the weird buildings and stuff, I've got 3 of those 65-gallon totes, chock full of them. Zuber, Jeff, and I built them over a weekend. They're awaiting painting, and I'm going, those work great as the small buildings and the ruined walls on GW tables. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I have to then have large buildings to put the other stuff and everything else. And it's tough to make coordinated stuff for that. And I'm like, okay, how can I paint these quickly, easily, and get them done? And it's like, honestly, prepared and went, all right, I have a 6-pack of this contrast paint, this, that, the other thing. And people giggle about the slap chop method being easy, but I've tried it on terrain now once, and man, did it speed things up immensely to help out. So you'll be seeing some new stuff coming from that.
I mean, when Eloise and I, we got 5 tables done in a month. Yeah. And they were fully detailed, and we just used craft paint. We didn't even use GW paint.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can make contrast paint out of that craft paint. There's things you can buy to make it.
Yeah.
And you can take the lower end paint, add certain mediums to it, and make contrast paint out of it. But it's the same thing, yeah.
What would everybody, if we go to Operation Go to Riverboat, or I'll just call it Riverboat, Operation Riverboat, what would the terrain be for that? What would everybody think that would be the best for that if you're playing in that style of event?
If you're bringing a high-end invitational where you're expecting people to pay $300 to $500 for a weekend, I want to play in good-looking tables, like well done, I mean, some of the Death or Glory tables look fantastic. Some of the tables that Chris Courtney has look fantastic. That's what I want to play on. I want to play on fun tables. We're not taking the tournament seriously, so let's bust out the good-looking tables.
I agree on that. What's your thought on it, Brian?
I am all for bringing out the high-end tables. Courtney's tables are absolutely amazing. I 100% would probably try and get Courtney to come to play, which would be an amazing experience on its own. Let me just turn that off for the 800th time. It's like I have it on do not disturb, yet the person that can get through is texting me. The high-end tables would be really cool as long as they're still game functional, because you don't want Planet Bowling Ball is the common theme that you hear on occasion. You don't want Planet Bowling Balls that look amazing, but you want tables that would be thematic and really fun. It'd be neat to have at that event, every table be different, every table be unique. That would be a ridiculously good time, because then hopefully you never play on the same table in 4 games.
Have you guys, it's on YouTube, but it's a group that's out of Gibraltar over in Europe, where they have a small invitational only tournament, 32 people.
SNN Battle Reports?
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
So they have a Heresy event, they have a Sigmar event, and a 40K event, where it's all invitational only, and you're in Gibraltar, and they literally can only fit 30 some odd people in the room.
Send me this link. I want to see this.
Every table looks absolutely gorgeous and amazing.
What's MDF?
That's the chipboard.
I don't know anything. You guys started talking about painting in certain types of terrain. I'm like, does it look pretty? Can I bang on it? I'm the hobby master. Oh man.
I'm getting it over to you. Bear with me a second.
I painted a model before.
You've painted a model before.
I agree with Matt. If you bring back best table awards and have players bring tables, you'll see more difference. I mean, we should be honoring the community and getting more hobby aspects into it. I said at the beginning of the year, and I say it now. I want to see more hobby stuff.
As someone who did best table for a number of years, it was really cool. And then all of a sudden the table started getting to the point where, yes, they were thematic, but they were unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
And you never wanted to say to somebody that brought a table from far away, we really can't use that, but thanks for bringing it.
Give them a pat on the back. You're like, oh, we're going to put this over here in the special corner.
Because as much as I like my buddy Chris Werner, he made a dice table that he brought to Du Bois, and it was cool looking. It was not fun at all to play on. It was just painful to play on, but it looked awesome.
Was it a year and a half? It's a year and a half, 2 years ago that I painted that. But it'd take a hobby night. It would take a lot. I will talk over other people being hobbying, but which is what I did with Sean. But I got so demoralized. I tried so hard to paint that model, and we painted for like 3.5 hours on that Marine, and they just casually, Christy and Sean made theirs look so much unbelievably better than mine, and I was just like, screw this, I'm out. I'm back to making lists.
So when you're in Tennessee for the Cherokee Open or North Carolina, we should have a painting stream. We can do that.
You know what? I will again talk. I will talk and drink while you paint, and we will talk about it. So I'm down with that. So here's the thing. What's your favorite event then? And we talked about, we said that the perfect event we're going to make, by the way, this is happening again, not once, but twice. I vow. But what's your favorite event that you don't host? And can't do a team tournament, because team tournaments are the best. They always win.
You're obsessed. For me, I think the most fun that I've had was probably at Du Bois. Like, I've gone there a lot of times, and it's pained me that I haven't been able to go the last 2 years, but I'll definitely have to attend again. It's just seeing the diversity of tables, seeing the high emphasis on painted armies, the atmosphere, and the boys themselves, the gaming club. Fantastic all around. I also kind of like Adepticon. Train not as great, but just seeing everybody from all around the world, playing 40K, having drinks at the hotel is pretty awesome as well.
What about yourself, Brian?
So that's tough for me because I ran so much in the last number of years that my brain's going, what do I attend that I don't play? To be honest with you, last year's Motor City Mayhem was probably one of the most fun events I've done in a long time, and it was the first time going. I also really like the Can Hammer Teams tournament. I know we're not supposed to use teams tournaments. Man, do I enjoy that event.
I'm going there this year. It's my first time.
Kind of bummed that they sold out in like 20 seconds and couldn't get a ticket.
Just go.
I have no idea how we did. And I didn't even know we had a team. And Alan just called and goes, "Hey man, I got his Can Hammer tickets."
That may be one of the times where I like call Darren and Chris Haynes and go, "Hey, you need someone to come help do anything?"
Hey Brian, hit your camera. You look silly.
No, I like it. I love everything that's going on with it. It looks like
you're glitching out like Neo in the Matrix.
He's beaming up.
No idea what's going on my end. It looks fine.
I'm literally leaving him exactly like he is because it's fantastic. Whoa. I'm not even pretending to fix that. I'm just letting it go. Nope, that is a Skype thing. So that is just staying that way. I might put some coloration on you. Love it. Dude, what happened? Remember when we used to always have the trivia events all the time at events, and then they for a while scored them. Adepticon still does, I think.
Not last year.
There we go.
Yeah, well, last year they didn't. That was the first time in a long time. I missed that, man. Being the guy that knows a ton about the fluff, I'm in. I'm so in.
If we do this thing, we have to have. This is going back, and you guys will remember this. Maybe some of the crew that's listening and watching doesn't. We got to do a pub quiz.
Oh, 1,000%. Yes, so much. Yes.
Brandon, do you remember the pub quizzes?
I remember the pub quizzes.
It was part. It used to be part of the score. Exactly, Matt. Yep. It was 100% part of the score. We always used to have one. I love that. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
We're going to make people have to write up a story about their army and why they brought those specific models.
That's one of the things about the Long War doubles that a lot of people say they enjoy is that, they give that theme-based score for doing those things. It'd be kind of fun. And if you're going to do something where it's, designed to be a competitive, not competitive event, bring all that stuff in.
Dude, I'm so behind that. I love that. You're going to make me name all my cultists again like I did. I'm behind all of this. I don't model, I don't paint, but I'll come up with some fucking nonsense ass story for my army. I'm 100% in with that.
Brad only won this event because he named every single cultist.
So, Brad, we have a guy at the store right now who is doing redneck themed orcs. He's just started, he showed me today, he brought a couple in to try out. He painted them all up with the traditional wife beater. And he's got blue denim jeans on them. Some of them have bandanas. And I'm he was oh yeah, I'm going whole redneck. And because, there's orcs have a tooth here, a tooth there. He's filed teeth down to make them look weird. It's fantastic.
You gotta have the still somewhere in the background then.
His Rucka Truck Squig buggy, he plans on putting some kind of moonshine device on the back of it, was his theory.
I'm so a billion times behind all of this stuff. So let's recap what actually happened tonight. We're going to plan 2 new events that I vow to make sure that they happen in 2024. By 2024, 2 of them. We talked about our favorite stuff, favorite type of terrain. We're hopefully going to fix that in for a lot of different TOs. People know. Also, real quick on everybody that went to LVO, but everybody that goes to a tournament this year, fill out your survey. It actually makes a difference, everyone. It's a big deal. If you don't go online and just bitch about it, give them feedback and tell them what they can do to fix things. It's so much, people are much happier to go, hey, these are the things that I thought you could fix. These are the things I could like, as opposed to going online and going, this is why these guys suck all the dicks. It's a little bit better if you just tell them what they could do to make everything better.
And another thing you can do to make things better is click like, subscribe to our channel, because all those things help us out in the long run.
1000%, everyone. Speaking of that, as usual, I've made a short story long. We talked about like half of the things I said we were going to talk about, and we are ready to go. Prop anything we're doing. Where are you going to be next, Brandon?
Cherokee GT.
Brian.
I've got an AOS Store Championship I'm running this weekend. Then tons of other local RTTs.
Love everything about that. For everyone, we will be every Thursday at 7. We'll be rocking and rolling. 7 o'clock on Monday is a more defined, actually, I put actual outlines on them now, so we'll actually stay semi on point. And then Thursday's the Wild West.
That is not the Brad that I know.
I was asked to specifically do that on Mondays so that we could actually put the cut episodes edited out for things. And he basically, the best is when John tried to edit it and goes, I wanted to make them clips of when you talk about certain topics, but you never stayed on topic long enough for me to clip anything. So I didn't know what to do.
30 seconds. That's all you need, Brad. Can you stay on topic for 30 seconds?
Banana. Squirrel.
All the squirrels. And on that, squirrel it up.